Hello you beautiful creatures, how the devil are you? I hope you're well. If you're new here, my name is Lou, or Lucifer as my friends like to call me. By my friends I mean my Instagram account. I am not alone. I have my sweet baby, my pumpkin, or better known as Gareth, with me. I've made a title just for you.
Oh, I feel honoured.
You're a part of the team now, congratulations. We're in high spirits today. Yes, we're in very high spirits because we have been to see Scream, haven't we? He hasn't stopped raving about it, have you?
No.
At all? Was it everything you wanted it to be?
I would say so, yeah.
That's big because he's the biggest Scream fan out of... Shush! I'm popular apparently. He is the biggest Scream fan out of us. So what we're going to do for you guys, we are going to do a smaller review. That will be this one, and that's going to be spoiler free. However, we are going to do a bigger review that's going to be packed with spoilers. We're basically going to talk through the plot of it, kind of like the Terrifier one I did, and I'm kind of freaking out at the moment because I'm kind of like... got a comment from David Howard Thornton and Damien Leone from Terrifier, so I'm freaking out at the moment. We're going to answer a couple of questions. So basically, is it worth seeing? If you are a Scream fan, does it live up to the hype? If you're not a Scream fan, won't say I'm not a Scream fan, I've just seen the first one, whether it's worth seeing or not, and so on and so forth. So join us, enjoy, and I hope you're ready for Scream. So do you think it was worth it?
Hell yeah.
Elaborate. Oh. We have a friend that goes, hell yeah. Tom, if you're watching this one's for you.
So the way I could elaborate on it is it definitely calls back to the first one. Mm-hmm. They make a big thing about it.
Yes.
Always go back to your original. It's much better than Scream 3. Anything's better than Scream 3, but there are reasons why it turned out the way it did. They even dedicated it to Wes Craven.
He wasn't the director of this one, unfortunately. He's not with us anymore. However, I think they really did it justice. It was actually directed by the people who did Ready or Not, and if you haven't seen that movie, it is phenomenal. We really enjoyed it. It's got a very unique premise. This film... It's one of those where I feel like it had a lot of success in the first movie, and it's capitalising on that because the first movie was such a big success. Trying to hit the same success, it's a hard one. So whilst, yes, I did really enjoy this movie, I can see a lot of people being like, oh yes, it's very similar, having a lot of issues with it. The plot, yeah, I don't want to say it's on the same vein as Star Wars The Force Awakens and A New Hope, but it kind of is. Mainly because it revisits a lot of the main characters from the first Scream leading up to the rest of them. But we didn't see a lot of them. I was actually really surprised with how little we saw the main... I'll say the main characters, so Dewey, Gale and Sydney. Were you surprised?
Not really. I mean, if you think about it with when they did Halloween in 2018, we didn't really see that much of Laurie.
No, but I think she was introduced a lot earlier in the film, wasn't she?
From what I've read, especially with Scream, they want to try and keep the franchise going. And with what we saw today,
yeah,
I'd be very happy with that because, as you know from the Christmas haul videos, I like my horror, I like my slashers, and Ghostface is up there along with Michael.
Ghostface was insane. He was
brutal,
absolutely insane,
brutal, and I was all for it.
Would you say that they were more brutal in this one than they were in the first one, or in the last couple of Scream movies?
Well, Scream 3 was more of a comedy as opposed to a horror. But I'd say definitely, yeah, they were more brutal in this one.
Yeah, yeah.
Because obviously with the original one, it was more slice and dice, stab. Whereas I think in this one, it was more creative. It
was very messy. It was very, very messy. It was very bloody. There's one particular kill that we will talk about in the spoiler filled one that we won't talk about in this one. We don't want to ruin it for you guys. I think it's important for you guys to go and see it and then maybe come back to the spoiler filled one, just so we can all kind of digest what's happened in the film and talk about everything that goes on. There are a lot of callbacks to the first ones. A lot of events kind of play out very similarly to the first one. You actually noticed it before I did. A lot of the locations they actually use were from the first one, and you marked out, didn't you? You loved that, really loved that. I didn't clock on, maybe because I'm not like, I won't say I'm not a massive Scream fan. I'd just say I'm not as educated in the Scream franchise. However, from seeing the first Scream film, I felt very fulfilled with this film. I felt like there's a massive theme about fans and the fan base and the fandom. It's huge in this one, and it kind of, I won't divulge too much into it, but it kind of talks about how a fan base can build and grow, and how you feed that fan base, and how that fan base might feel if it's not fed. And by that I mean
they're not happy.
Yeah, I mean, we've all felt it. Like, myself, for example, Sherlock, the Sherlock fandom, I absolutely adored season 1, season 2, season 3 to a certain degree, but season 4 was awful, and I felt robbed. I really did. And it really talks about that kind of fandom culture, developing those fandoms and seeing how crazy people can get, but I won't divulge any more than that. But at the same time, it was a massive fan service. It really was, particularly the first scene that you see in the trailers. I really liked how they incorporated having a landline and having, you know, basically a mobile phone at the same time. I really liked that. It shows the juxtaposition between people's attitude towards technology and how things used to be back in the 90s as opposed to how they are now. People were more inclined back in the 90s to answer their phone, whereas now there's a massive culture, I hate answering the phone, I really do. I much prefer text. And I just thought it was really funny when Ghostface was trying to call the girl at the beginning, and she was just like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing that.
It's not a spoiler because it's in the trailer.
No, yeah, it's in the trailer. It absolutely is. And yeah, I did. I really enjoyed it. The characters you meet in it, I didn't feel as emotionally attached. I very much become the kind of person that when I see the start of a horror movie, I think, I want you dead, I want you dead, I want you dead, and I want you dead. I don't think anymore, I want you to live. And I hate that. Like, I don't know if you feel that as well.
I'm just here for blood.
He's just baying for blood. Yes! There's so much blood in it. There is so much blood in it. And it's a bloody good time, like I said about Terrifier. It really is. I think if you are a Scream fan, you will definitely enjoy it, and it is worth the watch. If you're not a Scream fan and you're going into this blind, I would fully recommend at least watching the first one. I have heard a lot of people, like I've said in previous videos, where they've been to see the second Candyman but they haven't been to see the first one. They have no clue what's going on. Well, why do you think you don't know what's going on? Because you don't know the context. My point is, and
it's like if you wanted to watch Star Wars and you watch Return of the Jedi without watching Empire Strikes Back. And shock horror, Darth Vader is Luke's dad.
Stop the press, my god. I'll never forget when my dad told me that before I started watching Star Wars. And I was just like, you failed me. Regardless, I think you will enjoy it a lot more if you've seen the first Scream film. I don't think you necessarily need to see the rest of them. You did have to explain a few things to me.
Yeah. If I was to recommend anything, I'd watch Scream, the one from 1996, the original, Scream 2, and Scream 4.
Yes, I've only watched.
Skip Scream 3.
I've only watched the first one, so whenever there was a moment where Gareth gasped or he was like, "Oh my god, it's so and so," I was just like, "What?"
Although there is a really fun cameo in this one.
Yes.
A very fun one.
Yes. Are we talking about the same I feel like we are.
Yeah.
Yes, there is a massive surprise, but we won't divulge too much into it. All in all, Scream, we absolutely adored it. Don't get it confused with the original Scream. This is Scream 5. 5?
5.
5. I don't know why they didn't just call it Scream 5.
What's the same with Halloween?
Yeah, what's up with that? So, the thing is, if you're not like a horror fan and you see Halloween and then like the original Halloween starts playing, that's very confusing for people.
But in that instance, you're then watching the original.
Yeah, I think it's because a lot of these franchises, they're trying to get back on track with how intense they used to be. So with Halloween, obviously it kind of went off on a bit of a tangent. So the 2018 version was, right, we're getting back to the source material now, we're going back into that intensity and bringing back everything you love. I firmly believe that that's what this film was for Scream. It was going back to the source material whilst bringing in some fresh perspective. You've got fresh cast members. I liked the majority of the characters. Once you realise what's going on with them, it's very interesting. It adds another layer of, oh my god, so you're so and so. I really do enjoy that. Also, I like what's his name from The Boys? He plays Huey in The Boys.
Is it Jack Quaid?
Jack Quaid or something like that. I'm not too sure, but he's in the trailer. We really enjoy him anyway, and he's very funny throughout it. There are a lot of funny moments. It's
because
very,
that's what Scream was in '96.
Yeah.
Poking fun at itself as well as the genre, whilst also trying to take it seriously as well.
There were a few moments that you agreed that they kind of hammed up the meta side of it. It was very obvious that they were poking fun at the fact that the horror franchise is kind of all over the place at the moment, and to be...
They were being too meta.
Yes.
At times, but it didn't detract from Ghostface and the kills.
No, it didn't.
It just...
Yeah.
It's one of those where, it's there, but oh look, shiny stabby thing.
You did get very excited when you saw Ghostface.
Oh yeah.
Also, there's a lot of glittery capes involved in this one. I know.
He's always had a glittery. He's always had a.
I know, but it was
outfit.
it was just fabulous. Like every time I saw it, it's like, fabulous, darling. I really enjoyed Ghostface. If Ghostface is one of your main favourite killers, then this is absolutely for you. I really hope you guys enjoy it. I believe it's coming out in America tomorrow.
Well, by the time this is definitely up and out, then I know the Americans will have it.
At some point. Obviously, we've got it over here now. This has been the first day that it's been opened. Everybody's been raving about it. If you do like Scream, please go and see it in cinema. You will not be disappointed. We give it a 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5 demons, little devils all together. The ratings will kind of go up and down in the more in-depth video, and I'll explain why in that video. But again, we really hope you enjoy the new Scream movie. It's a blast, guys.
It's a scream.
It's a scream. I like that. That's very good. We hope you've had a good day. If not, that's okay. Always remember, tomorrow's a new day. See you later, guys. Bye.
Bye.